What's up?
You know,
You're under par total. That's what's up. All right, Keith, 126, 18 under through 2 rounds. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm definitely excited and pleased. I spent a lot of time the last few days leading up to this tournament working hard on my game, and it's showing. And I'm very thankful for that. Just shows you that hard work pays off as long as you're doing the right things. And my putter definitely has been nice, and my speed has been a lot better this week. So if those two things stay through this weekend, hopefully I can keep hitting some quality shots and capitalizing.
What is it about the characteristics of this course that have brought out all that hard work and the quality of your game?
Honestly, it's if you hit it in the fairway, you give yourself a chance. And if you hit on the green, the greens are so good, especially when you play early in the morning, that if you hit a good putt, the chances of it going in are pretty high because they're just these greens out here are incredible. So definitely going to be different tomorrow. Probably have a little bit more wind, a little bit more bumps on the greens, but just try to take advantage of a nice hot putter.
What are you happiest with, and is there anything you're disappointed with?
Happiest with my putting and my approach to putting. Disappointed in the only bad shots I felt like I've hit this week are shots that I wasn't really certain kind of where to hit them on the green. It's a new golf course. None of us have ever played it, so if you have a tuck pin, you're like, well, if you miss it over here, is it okay or is it not okay? And that was kind of the case on 10 today, where I wasn't really sure. I was kind of in between clubs and just never committed to hitting a proper shot and flared it out to the right, and unfortunately that led over to the bad swing on 11. But you're going to make bad swings, and you just don't want to make bad swings that are your own fault, and unfortunately those two are my own fault. But I mean, if I'm sitting here saying I'm 18 under with only 2 bad swings, I'm going to take it every time.
How do you keep from being complacent? How do you keep from being getting a big head with a 5-shot lead after 36?
Well, there's still a lot of guys out there, first of all. So I feel like if the golf course you can take advantage of, and some guys come down the stretch might definitely close that gap a little bit. But tomorrow, really, committing to every shot I'm hitting, and I know that sounds cliche, but committing to where I want to hit it, not where I want the ball to finish. And then having good speed on my putt, so that way when you're outside of 10 feet, you can still kind of be aggressive in trying to make putts from there. So it just frees you up. If you can aim to the middle of the green, know that you have a chance for birdie because you're putting well without trying to be too aggressive, then that's kind of how a good recipe works, with a lot of birdies and not many bogeys.
In the last one, some winners have said getting the first one was tougher than getting the second one. Others have said getting the second one was tougher than getting the first one. It's been a while for you. How much have you thought about getting number 2 and what it would mean for you?
Honestly, the first one you never really expect to win, and then when you do, you feel like you're supposed to win more. And it's been hard, but I had a really good run with Rory at Wells Fargo. I thought I had that one. He made some incredible putts down the stretch, and it was close. I don't want to count that as a win, but I count that as being in contention. And when you're in contention like that, a lot of it comes down to the last few holes, getting lucky or making a putt or two. So hopefully those can fall in my cards this week, as long as I can continue the play that I'm having, because definitely the second one for me has seemed to be a lot harder.
Yeah. I know you talked about it yesterday a little bit. Rory used you as the poster child too for like how deep this tour is. Pre-tournament, you almost predicted this. How do you feel about those words from Rory?
Like I said earlier, everything that Rory says always seems to be the right thing, and he usually means it, which is rare these days. So when he gives you a compliment like that, it's pretty deep. I mean, it means a lot to me, because he's a superstar in our game, and I'm not even close to that. So when he calls you out, unannounced, it does mean a lot. I didn't really know much about it. Somebody kind of told me a little bits and pieces, but it doesn't matter. I mean, a compliment from anybody out here is special, but coming from him, it's huge.
Sweet.
What he said is,
First he called you Kevin, by the way.
no, he said something. Keith Mitchell might not be a name that you would think about winning the tournament at the beginning of the week. And then I paired with him in the final round. He drives it in the bunker on 1, hits a 710 feet, makes the putt. and that stopped me in my tracks. And I said, "This is a hell of a player. It's a hell of a player."
Well, again, that is so nice of him to say. I can say that one circumstance times 100 towards him. So, 1 of 100, I guess I'll take. But he is the player out here a lot of the times. I know he might not be playing to his standards right now, but that just shows you how good he is when he's not at his standards. That he's still where he is in the world it shows you what a quality player he is.
It's your 4th year on tour?
Just started my 5th.
5th. Did you set any, as you start the year, goal-wise, not specific? What do you need to do that you haven't done in the previous 4?
This year I kind of took a hard look at my game. I felt like I've either had the game, the potential, I should say, to play a lot better than I have on a consistent basis. I just wanted to take this year and try to be as consistent as possible, because I felt like feast or famine was kind of my game the last 4 years, and I wanted to be a little bit more consistent, a little bit more patient, a little bit more, play like a tour pro and not just like a young kid out there firing at flags. This is a lot harder to do than I thought. But when your putter's hot like it was the last couple of days, it kind of just makes up for the rest.
When you, how much confidence do you have when you're feasting? And how depressing is that when you're famining?
It's like a roller coaster. In my game is like that, unfortunately. Yeah, seriously. I'm out there. Even today, I think I had a 5-shot lead at one point and missed a green, and it just felt like that again, because I just hold myself to such high expectations. Some of them are probably a lot too high, and that when you don't live up to those, you beat yourself up, and it's just. But you look at yourself in the mirror and it's just you. It's everyone else in my team. It takes 15, 20 people to try to get me here. And at the end of the day, they're all trying their hardest to get me to where I am. And I'm trying my hardest, if not too hard sometimes, to try to keep going higher. So, honesty, humility, all of that adds up to a more consistent year, which I really haven't done the last 4.
All good.
No, I'm still thinking about the honesty and humility adds up. Explain that. I'm not sure I understand it.
It's
Sorry, John.
It's impossible out here to win or contend every week. It is. And even though we show up every week wanting to contend and wanting to win, it doesn't happen. And it's frustrating sometimes because you want every single week to be your week. And, I was talking to Dr. Rotella not too long ago. He said Justin Thomas was player of the year and missed 7 cuts. I can promise you, when every single cut he missed, he was, pissed.
Suicidal.
Yeah.
Say that. Mental health. Sorry.
He was extremely frustrated. And I missed the last 2 cuts, and I stood out in the range, till dark, and then putted till dark on Wednesday because I was not happy with my results. And we're all out here. Everybody out here is like that. You can't be complacent. But the problem is when you overdo that and overcook that, it can work the opposite way.
Overcook the grinding.
Exactly. Yeah. Overcook the try hard effort.
Yeah. The head part of it.
Right.
Okay. Very done.
Then just go fishing.
I did.